Good morning. How's everyone doing? Welcome in. Some of you sliding in here on this Tuesday morning ahead of FOMC, but hey, I'm in a short. That was a short notice, but I am in a short. 596. I'm in a short right here, and I'm trying to get to previous day high. So simple enough. That's the short that I'm currently in. I want to risk more, but I could just re-short up higher. But hope everyone's doing well. What I'm looking for is previous day high. Let me go to QQQ. Previous day high, gap fill, all of the above. So we'll see. We'll see if it works out here. Let me go to SPX should touch previous day's high as well and fill this gap. NVIDIA weak off the open. Apple big upper wick pulling back. Exxon is a little bit strong. Meta and Amazon strong. See kind of what's going on here at the open. But yep, hope everyone's doing well. Happy Tuesday. See if we can get a little 40-point trade to win. Start the day on a Tuesday. Come on, drop it down here to 556. Previous day high, gap fill. Come on, here we go. What's up, Vladimir? Trying to get this full target here real fast on the open. It just trading the gap fill off the open. Come on, finish that move. Finish that move. See the previous day high right here. Let me get my little What's up, KB? How's everyone doing this morning? I hit this little gap fill here. Previous day high, bullish outside day. Yeah, I think we're going to be just fine here. Come on, go ahead, push down, push down. What's up, Willie? So the whole crew sliding in here this morning. I'm in for those just joining, I in a short bullish outside day. We should come back to touch previous day's range. We're also been up 9 days in a row. I'm kind of expecting a red day on NASDAQ today. Maybe some confluence of selling in front of tomorrow. Now, if price action tells me something different, I won't fight it, right? But my confluence from data perspective is one, we should touch previous day's range. Yesterday we didn't make it down to do it, so for that to not happen 2 days in a row would be a little bit surprising. And then the other side, I mean, we have the gap fill, we have previous day's high, bullish outside day coming back down to touch it, and then 9 up days in a row. That's basically the record we've seen over the last 3 years. So I'm looking for some downward pressure here a little bit. I'm giving it 556. 556. Cliff sliding in. What's up, Cliff? There, ES just completed it. Come on, NQ, don't stop right there. 3 points away. There it is. All right, 40-point gain. I just took off 3/4 of my trade right there. The previous day high was just touched on NQ and ES both. QQQ, SPY both right there. All right, well, good start to the day. I am trading the new contract, guys. I went ahead and flipped over here today. Let me move this over. This would be like ultimate target. The full gap fill in NQ is 553 on the new contract. ES just filled it on the bottom of this wick. SPY is a couple cents away. QQQ, it was another 5 cents lower, 8 cents lower. All right. Well, good start to the day. KB, you're in it. Take these blue light glasses off here a little bit. Where is 533? I do like that target, actually, 530s. I think 470, 480 is where like my ultimate target would be. There's a gap filling in Q. I'm gonna go ahead and move my stop down. My stop is actually gonna go. Ooh, where did I even put the stop on this? I really don't want us to come back over this right here. NVIDIA getting a little bit of bounce. Microsoft weak. What's Apple doing? All right, team. Hey, good morning there. Is it Herduk? Vlad? The platform is mostly Project X, Top Step Tradeify for the most part, and then I do all my charting on TradingView, and it's a lot easier for me to show everything on TradingView. So that's what you'll see on my streams here. Glad you're here. If you have any questions, feel free to jump in the chat. My question is if KB is still short, or if you got out on that gap fill right there. But look, here's the can't believe this gap didn't fill. It should fill. But my main target is gonna just this area right here. That's my main target. And then runners if they want to go. But I'm looking for previous day's high, which is marked right over here, and the gap fill, which is right here where we close. So it's literally right there. On NQ, you can see right here that's pretty much full target. So 40-point trade took off pretty much what 3/4 of it. How much weaker ES is? Ooh, IWM and RTY getting crushed. Boom, KB trim 2/3. It'll add back. I have that same area. So I have this 580 that I drew, 579 to 585, I guess you could probably call it. That would probably be the area. I'm hoping it just gets continuation. Look how weak ES is over here. Yeah, ES new low is still drilling. I like that 530 area. Probably look for 500. Awesome. Vlad, I can pronounce Vlad easier. I'm assuming it's like Herduk, but I don't know how to pronounce that piece. So I'll go with Vlad. But Vlad, great to have you here once again. Any questions? Happy to try to help. Give my thoughts. Obviously, trade your own plan. None of this is financial advice, but uh, I mean, we're just trying to use high probabilities with price action, high probabilities to get trades. And we try to win as a team on these streams, right? That's what it's all about. Cheer for everyone. It's a great atmosphere in here. What's up, Kevin? Great to have you on the stream. 100 people in here. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Be awesome to get 100 people in here. Usually throughout the day, I mean, because we're live in so many places, it's on X, and we usually have a few thousand people stop by. Yeah, it's anywhere from 3, 4, on average, 3 to 4 thousand people at least stop by the stream at some point. But boy, the YouTube crowd, you guys have really been growing, and I appreciate that. I appreciate each and every one of you, all of you that come in here and hang out. And once again, we're trying to trade with probabilities here and make money. Finally got your gap fill on SPY and QQQ. That's what that orange candle does right there. We give a 15-minute look here. So I talked about on Spaces this morning, this SPX. If we fell right up here, this upper range of yesterday, we should traverse, and I think we do revisit this 6,600. If we hold the upper piece of yesterday's range, then we probably rotate back out of it. But when we go to the daily, here, I'll just go to QQQ. And so I pulled up this yesterday, but look, from September the 2nd, so this candle right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up days in a row, all gap ups. Today's the 10th gap up in a row. And what I mean by gap up is we closed here, we open the next day here. We closed here, we open the next day here. We closed here, we open the next day here because it's a red candle. We closed the day here, we still opened up, gap up, gap up, gap up. Closed here, gap up, gap up, gap up. 10 gap up days in a row. I am using the new contracts, or the rollover contracts, whatever. This is an interesting time to get the rollover. I mean, I say this on my streams all the time. I chart SPX and NDX levels as much as anything, or QQQ SPY, and from there, I what's the term I'm looking for? I trade futures based off of what futures are actually based off of, the underlying. So SPX, NDX, or SPY QQQ. You do that, you don't even have to worry about the contract roll gaps and all that stuff. And just for basic market structure, yes, they pushed up to here, consolidated this area and this area. So you have two areas of consolidation yesterday. In the overnight session you held. So look, you have this area of consolidation, and then you had this one, right? And then now you have this one above that. So it's like literally a staircase. 1, 2, 3, staircase. Now you're pushing up. First place you're going to come back to is this. And then you've got kind of this area, I guess, 500, 508, big area. Obviously, these overnight lows in the 30s that KB was talking about, kind of yesterday's midday highs. And right now, obviously, we're testing the actual highs. We'll see how that goes. ES is very weak. Boom, there we go. KB, did you get that next one? Boom. My next trim, I'm gonna go take 510. The reason I counted out those days, I mean, 10 days in a row of gap ups, 9 higher closes, 9 green days in a row. That's like the max streak we've seen over 3 years. I mean, the what do you want to call it? The probabilities, or the just, to me, that's an exponentially increasing probability that you're going to get a short pullback type of day. Then you throw in like the possibility of tomorrow being, some profit taking going into tomorrow just to de-risk. My next target's 510 for a trim, and then 470s, 480s. All right, KB's looking to re-enter 550s, 556. Previous day high. KB's looking for that re-entry spot up there. Let me zoom in this a little bit for you guys. What data do we have? Business inventories, housing market, 20-year bond auction later. Uh-oh. Log back in real fast. Gonna be a good day, guys. Start off the day with a win like that on a day that could turn in. We'll see what it gives us, but could turn into a choppy day. But and some other things here. I mean, look at this is a big move up, right? And then, like I was saying, just gap ups after gap ups. Here's the previous all-time high. We paused here and we broke out from there. I mean, look at this is daily 9 EMA. I mean, when you get this extended from it, like at some point, I mean, look, some point you kind of track your way back to it a little bit. Or you go sideways, like for example, over here, you start getting extended from it, you went sideways and it caught back up. Come on, drill this thing. I really want to see this down here on SPX today. Trading ES, it's about 62. Another 10 points on. Willie, I like that. Great trade, Willie. I would love to see it come on down a little bit further. That's just in the bigger picture of things. The main probability of the trade. So here, let me go to yes. When we opened up here, previous day high and gap fill. That's the main thing we're looking at. We can look at the stats on that here in just a second. I'm kind of watching this to see what's going on. Trump's making a lot of comments this morning too. Getting a little extended here when you think about a 5-minute chart. EMAs are way up here. Exact double bottom at the overnight Asia low. Here, just look if I do this right here. There's Asia low from last night. I mean, we've moved pretty far quickly this morning, so we'll see if it does like a little bounce and then a reject. I mean, that's kind of what KB I think is looking for that a little bit. I don't know. I saw Vladimir in here. Vladimir, you got any trades going on this morning? Cliff? I'd like to re-enter short on 50% pullback of 15-minute opening range. Boom, you caught 30 points. So 15-minute opening range. Here's your opening range is basically this orange box. Um, 15-minute opening range, 5, 10, 15. So here's your low. Boom. Apple's that flight to safety. Great trade 72 though. This Apple is insane off the open here, but it's a flight to safety, so it tells me that people are probably de-risking. It's an ugly candle on Meta. My watch list, I keep the old contract up here just to know what I was working with, if I have any levels or anything. We're at all-time highs, so it's this time around not really as big of a deal. No trades yet. Trading into people use time candles. Do not see any good entries yet. I love that. I love how everyone has different, ways they look at stuff and all of that. That's right. I get a lot of confluence when somebody like Vladimir that looks at tick charts and stuff like that. Um, I don't know if any of you guys know Rizzo, the guy that I trade with a lot over in Discord. He uses auction market theory, and his way of looking at things, when it lines up with my way of looking at things, it's just extra confluence. Look how quick this is getting sold off. Yes, about to make another new low. So I can't really add or do anything to my trade down here except hold runners. So I'm going to take one more trim at 510 if we get there. Do I want to take it at 510? What was yesterday's orb high? IB high 508. That'd be a 90-point trade, I think. New lows on ES, should get that pivot point. Yeah, I'm gonna be safe at 510. My entry is 597, so we'll call it 90 points, whatever. What's up, B plus? B plus sliding through. I love you guys hanging out in the chat with me. That's why I love live streams, because we have the live chat and everything going on. I hope so. KB, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you go up this many days in a row, you have the contract rollover, so Friday is, for those that maybe don't know, I think most of you probably know, most of you are seasoned enough traders. Some of you guys very seasoned traders in here. When you have quad witching, as some people call it, some people just call it triple witching, but essentially Friday you have weekly, monthly, and quarterly options all expiring on the same day. You also have the futures contracts rolling over and expiring. So, anybody that's carrying a futures position, they have to roll it over this week. And, it's a good time to take some profits. Plus, you have FOMC tomorrow, and Jerome Powell and possibly just a pivot time, right? Going back to rate cuts, we're supposed to get 25% cut or 25 basis point cut. And then the commentary is going to be everything, in my opinion. You know, a lot of people look at it however they read it. To me, whatever they say, they're it's like a 90 something percent chance they're going to cut 25 basis points and nothing more. But it's all the commentary around it. Are they cutting for maintenance? Are they cutting because there's underlying issues that they're seeing in the data? Why are they cutting? And then have the rate cuts been priced in, and how many are they talking about? And how many people are dissenting and agreeing? There you go. Seasoned trader just found out what a chart was. Yeah, KB. If you guys believe this about KB, KB absolutely crushes it in the comments over here on the stream with us. If you believe this about KB, I've got a bridge that I'll sell you over in Dallas. I'll sell you a bridge in Dallas. It can be yours. And there's some oceanfront property up in Nebraska that I'm just dying to sell to somebody. So, but yeah, B plus the September cut coming. Yes, it is coming. I mean, here I'll pull up the. This is what the market's pricing in as far as the odds and probabilities. It's like 90. What does this say? 96% that we're getting just 25% or 25 basis. I keep seeing 25%. And then here, let me zoom in on this. So this is for September, 96% chance of 25 basis point cuts. And then going out in October, they're showing us high probability of another 25 basis points. And then a third 25 cut either in December or possibly in January. That's kind of the current trajectory they have sitting out here on this. IWM new low. Yeah, Apple maybe get to red candle finally. Tesla's doing okay, hanging out just under that 420. Amazon kind of sideways to up. Meta sideways to up. CrowdStrike, Palantir weak. Microsoft very weak. Nvidia's red again. Google is very weak. Broadcom pretty weak. Kind of looking at the bigger names. Netflix green. I actually hope Netflix does go up. All right, we got, our 30-minute orb is set. Your midpoint of that, 562 on NQ. If you're trading yes, 679. Obviously, that IB will get some more statistics here in about 20 minutes. Scott, the Trinity River Bridge is all yours. Which one do you want? Do you want the one on the north side of Fort Worth? Or do you want the one over in Dallas? You want the I-30? You can have the I-30. How about I-30? Scott, I'll give you I-30. Kind of like 4 bridges in one. Apple, yeah, so Apple is strong today. A lot of times Apple acts as kind of like a flight to safety. That is a nice looking candle on Apple. Does Apple get a continued push here? I think you could get a $10 upside move on Apple if the market cooperates. Plus, Apple kind of do its own thing sometimes. I actually really like Apple. All right, fine, Scott. I'll give you the Dallas one. You take the Dallas one. I'll keep the Fort Worth Trinity River Bridge. Well, you say the Trinity River Bridge. Do you know how many of those there are? The way that it snakes through Fort Worth and Dallas both. kind of sitting here right around previous day's highs. But so this green line right here, if we zoom in, and I can make it a little bit better. This green line right here, this is the previous day's high. Stepped it back into it, rejected it. We get continuation here. That's a pretty good look for continued move down. This is kind of that value area from yesterday. So this is kind of the main area that I'm looking for. But if we really start getting going in SPX, like I said, my target on SPX for today, just at minimum, was kind of right in here. I really wanted it to fell the upper range and trade down to here. And then if this doesn't hold, I think it can really get, could really accelerate a little bit today. But we'll see. We're still in a crazy, I mean, we're talking about selling when this is going on, right? I mean, like just to be fair to everything else going on. Oh, but a beautiful start to the day so far. Yes, still drilling. What's so weak over in SPY? Ooh, big banks very weak. Energy is actually strong. Big banks are very weak. Financials. Yeah, look at all your financials pulling back. Oracle, wow, Oracle up 3%. Of course, that one's kind of all over the map after that gap up. Hims down 4%. Boy, you talk about a name that goes back and forth like multiple times. Hims? Hims will go up 7% one day and back down 4% the next day and up 5% the next day and then down 7. Like that thing, I think goes everywhere. Where's SPX? Let me get SPX up here. Slightly new low. Work 30-minute orb. We about hit that pivot point. Uh-oh, 6666. Is that bad? Oh no. Missed the entry by 3 ticks. Look at that EMA 9 coming down, just smacked it right here. If most indices red, do you think so in Q, it's tough. So in Q is usually going to be up more or down more because there's only 100 stocks, up more or down more than SPX. But just in kind of current scenario, bull market, mega caps have been strong. Do they get weaker? I don't know. But in normal scenarios, yes, you would have, NQ would play catch up here. I think it will. But what I'm watching for is if SPX does hold down here, then that may be confluence. It may be confluence on NQ. Still early, 15 minutes until that next thing. Plus, you got to think two binary events happening this week: FOMC tomorrow, and then of course all the options stuff going on pretty much throughout the entire week. Anybody that, or not just options, but all the rollover. So, anybody that's, running big money, big positioning, obviously they are, they're having to close out positions and roll them to the next quarter or whatever it is. So you get a lot of kind of erratic price action. Nice 5 minute little reversal look here, at least in the short term. See if we get smacked again up on the EMAs as they catch up. KB, you might get another shot at it. I don't know if you like it as much the second time. You might get another shot at it. 15-minute doji as well. Volunteer's weak. So bearish bias on the gap fill. I'll take a look at some of these probabilities. You're watching that 15-minute KB. So right now the midpoint is up here for the IB for the first hour. Basically the same spot so far, 562. That's a nice looking reversal on ES though. Let's see if it gets smacked. Oh yeah, I was gonna look at those probabilities. So if we go to QQQ, I'm kind of curious to see what happens here at the midpoint. QQQ though, we opened up here. So their opening spot. Previous day's high is down here, and the gap fill was like right here. So basically both in the same spot. What were our, I mean, we can look at NQ. I'll just go to QQQ for the odds here. Gap size. So look, if I go to this report, gap fill by size on QQQ, the size was 0.15. So it's 85% chance to fill this. $85. Let me screenshot that. All right. So 85% chance to fill that gap when we opened up, like, I mean, just opened up here. We're looking for this 85% probability. This is probably your reshort, unless it holds right here on the orb low. I don't think it does. We'll see. Still sitting in that original short, so nothing for me to really do here. I don't like this 15-minute look though. The probability, so previous day's high, outside days right here. %56 reversal back down on QQQ. Wonder if there's a bi-weekday. Interesting. Tuesdays don't usually reverse. I'm just typing out the statistics on this. What are you guys doing? What are we doing here? Should I start her? See what happens at the midpoint or up here at the 21. This comes above this. That's not a great look, but here's the midpoint right here. And we have 7 minutes. We'll see. We have it set up to do this for a second short. I'm going to type up this data. Well, it's a tough call. Is Apple still running? All right. Yeah, looking to reshorts. God, I kind of like it. Kind of like it right here. I like it right. Yeah, right here in this area. And I think we go take out that IB low. We got 5 minutes, so really if it just kind of goes sideways here for a second, then we have that nice IB by rejection setup as well, which is when you make the high first. Those that don't know, you make the high first, you make the low second, you should break the low. That's after the first hour. So as soon as this candle closes in 3 minutes. QQQ, yep, reject review stays high, and we should take out this low. So I don't hate getting into it now, honestly, since we know what's going to happen in 3 minutes. We know we have first hour. We should take out this low. Cliff hit it short. I think I may just take the short on another account. Or I could just add. It's kind of running away from me now. That's a nice rejection up there. 2 minutes. Look at SPX. I'm gonna drop that thing down 7 points here. Should get a new low of day though. So IB by rejection. This report right here, IB by rejection. The high forms first, the low forms second. You break the low 67% of the time. It's 2/3 of the time. So for those following along, NQ, whatever you're trading, NQES, QQQ SPY, this is the high of the first hour. This is the low of the first hour. This one was first. This one was second. More times than not, 2/3 of the time you break this. Damn it, Dale. For a second, KB, I read that as dale in Spanish. Dale, amen. Maybe you, I don't know, KB may have some Puerto Rican in him. We'll see. Dale. Truth, I saw your question here. I appreciate you joining as well. Let me hit that question just a second. I'm kind of watching this, see if I want to try to get in the next. We got 1 minute till that IB forms. One second, I'll hit that. I'm gonna hit that question. Here, I'll come back to that in just a second. Truth, hang in there for me because I want to hit this IB trade right here. Just trying to see if it can pop a little higher for me to get in. Not, I'll just have to chase it. 2, 1. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to hit it right here. Pop up a little bit. Come on, pop up just a little bit. All right, I'm hitting it. All right, I do want to hit this question from Truth real fast. Do you not consider that using daily yesterday low as a gap up? Seems like 62.80 cash. So you're talking about SPX. So yeah, we have an unfilled gap on SPX. But what I'm looking for is at least down two here. So like if I go to SPX here and you look at yesterday, this is an unfilled gap and we didn't even touch. So like that's the gap that I look at, but the other gap that people look at is just this. This is previous day high. So SPX never came back yesterday, right here, never made it to the previous day high. So I do think that we look for that today. My first thing was if we fell right here, we trade to here. And we've pretty much done that, but I'm looking for it to complete just a little bit further. ASTS headline that SpaceX is doing something. Heads up if you're trading that name. Truth, did I answer your question? Hopefully, I answered your question there. What am I targeting? Roberto. What am I? What am I targeting? I'm targeting this right here. So what I'm looking at, and in Q is what I'm on. So what I'm looking at is the first hour of the market. Here, let me just make this pretty clear here. We are holding here, but the high of the first hour is right here, right? And it was formed right there. The low of the first hour was formed right here. I have 67% odds that we're going to break this today. So I want to short in this area and play this break. So we'll see if it works out. Couple dojis here, but I like the fact that this is a rejection upper wick. So we'll see what happens. But we should break the 67% of the time. We should break this. Now we'll keep an eye on ES as well and SPX because ES probably going to play it out first. Maybe we take a trim when that happens just in case. And then I'm keeping a close eye on this over here. 6 more points on ES. Need this area right here. 7 points lower. Yeah, right there. And I'm going to put SPX 6600 just so I have this on my chart. Yeah. Boom. 72 offsuit or 72. 7-2 offsuit. Pass that eval. I don't really want to go back to like I'm not even back to like a half position in my original position, but really don't want to add a whole lot more, but I probably could in this area. This doesn't have to play out right away. I mean, this is a statistic for the entire day, but I still like this. Let's see if anything's got weakness. Amazon, decently strong, actually. Apple came back in a little bit. Oh, we're asking for too much for a second short here, but we'll try it. That is a pretty interesting spot right there on SPY. Where's that 660? Right here. Kind of in a chop zone. Problem is I have like no confidence in like actual selling the way that this market's been, right? And I don't want this to I don't want to go back over this really. I mean, at most VWAP. It's kind of an interesting spot for it to be holding here. I guess it's right on these afternoon highs, 530s. It's kind of KB's original target. So this is a good question, actually. Does FOMC week change the data? No, actually. So the data is the data. So it's the last 6 months. It includes all FOMC. It includes, earnings season. It includes CPI data, whatever. It's all included. There we go. Look at this rejection. Beautiful rejection. Right off previous day high. I probably could have waited for that entry. Come on, give me that new low of day. Come on. So I'm trimming back at 520, and then I have my original trim at 510. Like here's there's my two trims, just so I have them on the chart for everyone. KB. I just break it down already. I want to see a wick down here on SPX. Come on, just give me that new low of day, KB. 30-minute orb rejecting on ES. Cliff, I don't think you can manipulate data, right? So, I mean, that's the beauty of the data is the data, regardless of what's going on in the market. Now, if you're trying to exclude, like, I mean, there's certain days like tomorrow, I may look for a trade in the morning if I can get a setup in the morning, but by 11 o'clock, I'm not doing anything. Guys, just dropped this already. New manipulate was right, including or excluding days of big news. Yeah, I don't think you can just like exclude those days. I mean, if anything, I see what you're getting at. Like, okay, could I just take those days out and just think about what's normal? But for me, I want to see all the data, right? That I mean, here's the thing: if I know something happens 2/3 of the time, 67%, and that includes even when crazy things happen in the market, I would rather know that than. But I see your point too. It's an interesting way to think about it. New here today, Graham, over from across the pond there. What was your route to becoming such a confident trader? So, yeah, so I mean, boy, that would be a long answer. I'll give you a shorter version. Uh, Coming up with a strategy and a system. So risk management's a big thing. I know how many times I can take a loss and still be okay on an account. I know that losing's part of it. So risk management's a big piece of it. But as far as just trading and being confident in a trade, a lot of it, I mean, I'm on here, I'm using Edgeful. So Edgeful has historical data, right? That tells me what happens more times than not in different scenarios. So, I mean, getting the direction right's the majority of the battle, especially if you trade futures. I mean, just knowing which direction the market's most likely going to go in, I mean, that's half the battle, right? And then so you're just managing risk on top of that. I mean, that's what helps me be confident, right? And then it just takes time, right? So screen time, I've spent a lot of time, watching charts, watching price action, kind of getting comfortable with what's going on. And I mean that I think that helps a lot. And yeah, I mean it just comes with time, repetition, practice, familiarity, and then you get to a point where you like overthink it. Oh, hymns. I just heard a headline on hymns. Good Lord. Wow. Him's getting smoked. Some kind of Eli Lilly's CEO's talking or something. Just finish this new low. Give it to me. Raj, what happened? I mean, did you try to play a bounce play? Did you get short and maybe like oversize? Sizing's a huge thing, guys. If you're trying to make, thousands and thousands of dollars, you're gonna have to be able to risk that much. I mean, if you're only able to risk $500, don't try to make, $2,500, $3,000. If you're risking $500, I mean, doubling that, getting 1,000, that is really good. A 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. That's really good. If you're risking $500 to make 1,000, you're doubling your money. If anything, you know that's a really good risk reward ratio to have if you can maintain it. But you have to have some kind of systematic approach that allows you to replicate that. Yeah, sizing has been a major issue. It's a major issue for a lot of people. I used to trade in Q, like the minis, and I went down to M and Q because I can size into a trade and I can trim along the way to de-risk that trade. Once the trade starts going in my favor, I can I can trim and de-risk it, right? And then I can leave runners to capture more profit later. I never take a full size position. This is the way I trade. Everyone's different, right? But I never take a full size position all the way to my full target, right? I have 2 to 3 targets for every trade that I'm taking, and the further the trade goes in my favor, the less risk I have left on the table, right? I'm locking in profit along the way because also the further a move goes, the lower the probability gets of a continuation. Boy, they are just teasing us on this, aren't they? 67% of the time we break this low right here. 2/3. I like those odds still. There you go, KB. Great math there. Not sure how to size my options contracts. I made a few changes to my strategy, learned something new so I could learn. So yeah, no, hey, it's all about learning. I love the attitude here. Actually, you have the right attitude. Options is it's kind of a whole nother level, right? So futures, you don't have to worry about the decay near as much or anything. On options, I think one mistake a lot of people do make is they uh, they try to do zero DTEs or the time value just absolutely theta burns them off, right? Time value will absolutely kill people. So yeah, that's what's tougher about options. I always tell people if you're trading options, you need to buy some time. If you're trading for a move that you think is going to happen in the next 30 minutes to 2 hours, you should still be taking multiple days until expiration, in my opinion, right? And at least if you're until you really get a good handle on what things are going up. Take winning 20% on an options trade and not risking it coming against you is much better than trying to get 100% on an option and you know letting it go to zero or having it go down 50% against you. That's my take on options. You can trade options, and a lot of people do it very successfully. But as you're getting into options trading, if you just buy time, so like if you're trading QQQ or SPY today, one, it's tough because your premiums are going to be elevated for tomorrow because tomorrow's a binary event in the market with FOMC and Jerome Powell. But if you go out to like next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday, and you have some time on there, yeah, your win may only be 20% or whatever, but at the same time, your drawdown is going to be much more forgiving too. So that if the trade goes sideways, when you're trading options, three things can happen, right? Price can go up, price can go down, price can go sideways. If you're trading in options sideways, if you're directionally trading options, sideways or not. So like if you took puts, for example, if price goes sideways or if price goes up, two of the three things that can happen, are trouble. So that's the tough thing with options, right? Two of the three things that can happen are bad for options. So you really have to, you know, you have to be very precise, or you have to buy something that's a little bit forgiving, which is a little bit more time. Do those contracts cost more? Yes, they do. You buy quality, right? It's like buying something off a team. People that buy zero DTE options because they can afford them versus going out a week or two or even a month. You're buying Timu options, right? That's the way I think about it. Roberto, sorry I didn't miss this question. Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays here on Edgeful. On Fridays over on Wolf Trading, we're doing a live stream now as well. We're on Spaces, of course, all day, every day, pretty much live trading over there. But as far as streams, Tuesday and Thursday right here with Edgeful. So it's on Wolf Financial and on Edgeful, and then Wolf Trading is another piece of our Wolf Financial umbrella. We just started last week. We're doing Friday streams with the crew, right? So we have about 4 or 5 different traders that come on. We do a live stream there too. So I'm essentially live stream trading three times a week. And these Tuesday, Thursdays, it's in the morning for a couple hours, and then obviously on Friday we go as long as we can. We went all day on this past Friday. But yeah, for me, Tuesday and Thursday, and then for like the bigger group right now, Fridays. We're trying to get more and more. I think there's going to be a point in the future where we are live, live trading, live streaming, a lot more. Mike Brown, yeah. So Edgeful. So I look at the statistics of a lot of things, right? And so like this morning, I looked at gap fill, and I looked at the outside days, which what those told me, it told me that we opened up right here. This is where the day started, right? This is where the day closed yesterday. So what the gap fill and the previous day high being down here, what that told me using the Edgeful data was that we had a high probability of coming down here. So I looked to get into a short up here to make that move down. Now then the first hour of the data, so this is the other piece of the data, first hour is bearish. That means that we have a red day more times than not. Let me pull that up. Opening candle continuation. So on NASDAQ, so NQ, QQQ, either way, when you have a red first hour, 72% of the time you close the day red. So here's where the day's going to close red, right? So this indicator, this is all Edgeful indicators that come with Edgeful. But this is where we closed yesterday. For us to have a red day today, we have to end up today under this, right where this yellow bar is. We have to end up under there. Now, the first hour of the market opened here and closed down here. So now I have 72% odds that we are going to close under this level today, right? Now, previous day high was broken, even because we opened above it, right? So it's been broken. That tells me that we have a probability of closing. I'm sorry, the opening candle, the first hour of the market, the opening candle continuation means we're going to close under this level. Sorry, we're going to close under this level. Previous day high being broken tells me that we more times than not are going to close over this level. So what I'm kind of looking for, I'm looking for it to shoot down here, and I'm going to get out. And then the highest probability place that we close is actually right here today. Just from a strict probabilities, mathematical standpoint, right? I heard another headline in the middle of that. Nothing big. And now that I think about it, like I still have the one probability that we're gonna take out this low, 67%, but then I have this box right here because I have one report that says we're gonna close under this, and I have one report that says we're going to close over this. So some point today, probably going to look to be back in this area. All right. But yeah, that's how I use. So, I mean, there's several different pieces. And just because I've used Edgeful for a while now, like I know I have a lot of it kind of memorized, but it's built into my system. But I can go look at this stuff. I can look at the probabilities, like the initial balance. It's just the first hour of the market. That's all this is. First hour of the market. So if we look at this, 75% of the time, we're going to break just one side. 22% of the time, we're going to break both sides. And less than 3% of the time, we're going to not break anything. So what does that tell me? That tells me not breaking one side or the other of this is less, it's less than 3%, it's 2.4%. So there's a 97.5% chance that we're going to break one of these two levels. And if we break this one, there's only a 22% chance we come back to break this side. So if we do break this, like the rest of the day, like if I long anything, I'm longing back to here, but I'm not going any further than that, right? Like if we came down here and I got long, this is not going to be a target because that only happens 22% of the time. Targets are going to be like in this area. Actually, probably here and here are going to be my targets if I took a long later this afternoon in this area. So I mean, literally when you trade, everyone that trades, you're trading on probabilities, right? Whether you use price action, breakouts, whatever, but you're trading on probabilities of something happening for the most part. If you're not, you're just gambling. You're not trading, in my opinion. But what I do is I'm taking, okay, there's 3, 4, 5 things I can look at, and 3 of them tell me high probability of this happening, and I'm kind of like weighing those together, going, okay, that's kind of the general direction that I want to trade in, and then I kind of match up the levels with that. First hour of the market, previous day high and lows. I look at a 30-minute orb a little bit, which you can see right here. This is on ES. This is a 30-minute orb. This is a 30-minute orb. First 30 minutes of the market. We've broken the 30-minute orb, and now we're stuck underneath it, right? So a lot of pieces there. And I know that this move right here that I'm looking for, I know that this happens 67% of the time. So if I take this trade 10 times, it's going to work basically 7 of those times. If I get short anywhere in here, I know I can take the trade 10 times, and seven times basically, if we just round, 7 times it's going to work. 3 times it's not going to work. Okay, I can handle it. Imagine if I can take 7 wins and 3 losses. Hey, as long as you can weather those 3 losses with risk management, obviously, if those 3 happened in a row, you should be able to weather that if you're using good risk management. Then I know that there's 7 wins. I mean, make it 100, right? I could take this trade 100 times, and I'm going to win 67 of them. I'm comfortable with those, right? Are you on KB? Are you on the old contract or the new contract? Because I don't see anywhere close. I'm looking at MNQ and NQ both. 3 different windows I have open here, and I don't see it. All right. Melvin, this killed me, Melvin. Him is receding like my hairline. Oh, down 7%. Ooh. All right, here we go. Come on. Make this new low. See, remember my trims sitting right here, these two yellow lines. I just drew those just for trims. They're not actual levels, it's just where I'm trimming. Kind of levels, I guess. 67% of the time. Let's get this break right here. Wait, KB, wait. KB, wait. We're about to get it. There it is. Boom. 67% of the time. Boom, right there. Got my orders filled for the ads that I took up here. Extra 20 points. Got a new low. 67% of the time, right? Right there. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. How about that? Now give me that 510. All right, let me delete this off. Did SPX get there? Where's my SPX? What a beautiful setup. Oh, what a great day. Oh, man. Beautiful morning. Mr. Offsuit caught that. Boom. Can we get this 510? Give me this 510 so I can get my last trim for my original. Oh, did we get it? All right, I'll take that last trim here. We're right at that level, 85 points. Boy, now what? 511. I'm not gonna sit here and like watch it go 1 point away and stop. Like I went ahead and I snagged it right in here, like 12, 13. That was the trade though. That was the trade I was looking for, right? IB by rejection. High forms first, low forms second, break the low. Now I'm pretty much done for the day, right? If anything, I mean the trend is down. Like I said, short term, the trend is down. The trend has been up for 9 days, 10 days almost at this point. And I I know this is counter trend, and I know I have those statistics that say probably going to close back up here. I mean, just look at yesterday. So I took it back to this area. My trade's pretty much over. I'm out 90% of my trade. If we get the full move to where, let's just 481. That's what we're actually going to do. 471's fine, but 481. 481. That's what I want. But the bulk of my trade is over. Now what? All right, now what? What's up, chat? How we doing? How we feeling out there? I feel like a bunch of you guys were in that same trade with me. I'm not taking credit for any of you guys' wins. You guys push the buttons. We looked at the same data. You guys have access to the same data that I have. So I'm not taking credit for anybody's trade here. But I see a bunch of people winning in the chat. So shout out to all of you guys. You clicked the buttons. You did the risk management. You looked at the data. I presented the data. I know a lot of you use the Edgeful as well. A lot of you guys in the chat. So this is the team win right here is what this is. This is a great morning. Berto, you learned something. Thank you, sir. You learned something today. Beautiful, beautiful. Scott, you're hanging out over at the Trinity River. You missed out on the trade. Come on. Nah, I'm just messing with you. All right, Faye. So yeah, let's talk about this trade a little bit. Okay. So I'll walk through the entire day right here. And if I need to go back over something, please let me know. Please ask questions. So when the day opened, here, let me go to QQQ and then I'll come back to NQ. When the day opened, we opened up right here. Okay. That is above the previous day's range. Previous day's range is right here, right? But we opened up here above this. Okay, so I have one statistic that tells me we should be coming back down to here. I also just knew in my head going in when I was kind of looking at today's setup, I looked at this yesterday. We're up 9 days in a row, and we probably should have some type of pullback. And even the last 3 days just absolutely flew. So probably some pullback needs to happen. We have FOMC tomorrow. But regardless of any of that, when we opened up right here, we had an 85% chance to fill this gap right here because the size of it, the size right here of this gap. So as soon as I went live this morning, I was telling you guys I'm short, taking a short right now. So that was the first trade, right? The first trade was, and I was able to keep runners on and then just actually add back in and get a second trade within the first trade. But the point being, shorting here, looking for this previous day's high and the gap fill, both decently high probability odds. Gap fill today was like 85% odds, and the previous day high is more times than not you come back to the previous day's high. If we go to NQ, here's the look at that. So on NQ, the short, you were looking for 556 to 553 right there. Okay. Then once the first hour, so here's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45, and then the first hour is set right here. Okay. So when the first hour was set, I know I have a high and a low of that first hour that should break 97% of the time. I also know that if the high gets formed first and the low is formed second, then I have a 67% chance that we're going to break this low. So this low, since it was formed second, there's a 67% chance that you continue and break that low. Okay. So with that being the general setup, once I had all my trims on this trade, we came back up, we rejected in this area, and then I see kind of where we stopped. I added in here knowing that this was a high probability. So I added here and I took them back off when I got the break right here. So now I'm back to, the kind of the original runners only from my original entry here. So that's kind of the entire setup of how today went. So 2 trades set up for me, this trade set up for me, and then this trade set up for me. And now we have basically 2 wins on the books. And to me, we're in no man's land. So possible support here on SPX. QQQ. We've played out the things I wanted to see play out. Do I want to get long? Probably not just yet. I would probably feel a little bit better down here. And I need some kind of price action confirmation. Right now, this is not good price action confirmation for me. We haven't even touched. So like, here's another piece. This yellow line right here is a 21 EMA on a 5-minute chart. And you can see it on both of my NQ and ES. When I look at this, we haven't touched it all day. Usually the first time you touch this, you get smacked. So you may like reclaim here a little bit, work your way back up. Usually the first time you touch it, you get smacked. That's just something I've picked up from watching. Raj, $200 gains, 10 contracts and sold at $20 gain on each contract. Limit sold using your live chat level. Boom. Let's go, Raj. So that's the thing. You're trading with probability, and you were taking off risk along the way. So like if I think about like a ladder, right? The like each like place we get to, maybe not a ladder, that's too many like rungs or whatever you want to call them. But when I think about a trade, like if I was just taking a trade in general, if I took any trade here, I'm looking for levels for where that trade's going to go. So I want to take off a decent amount here and a decent amount really here. Let's call it that. So like here and here, I want to take off a decent amount, and I want to be out most of my trade, because the further this trade goes, the lower these probabilities get down here. Anytime the further a trade goes, because markets don't just trend forever, right? Anybody that was short up here, they're going to be looking to take profit at previous day high, at this like main area of consolidation from yesterday. Most people are going to go on here and draw a level here and here, kind of like I did, and that's going to be kind of their targets, right? And then if you're short, you have to know where buyers wanting to get involved. So if you're trying to long somewhere, if you're wanting to long this market, where are those people going to be? So people that are looking to trade long, they're probably looking at these highs here, maybe this area here. So here and here, they're probably looking to get long, or down here where all of this support was yesterday. So it's like 590 on QQQ, that whole area. If we go to NQ, so yesterday, you can see right here, like 494, 500, there was people buying 490. We'll call it like 494 down to 480. That's where people were buying all yesterday. And then you see a lot more up here, even at 508, 510. So that's kind of why I had that 510 level as a target. And obviously 511 came like basically right to it. Doesn't mean we can't keep going down there, but it's just kind of the general like thought process you have to have is, okay, not only am I short, I need to have my targets, but where do I think buyers would come in and try to support this? If you go to like a higher time frame, even, You start looking at these like here, let me go to like maybe a 1 hour. Let's see what the 1 hour. So like if I look at all of these 1 hour candles right here, I mean, yeah, 508 area, or these two right here, 514. People are going to go in here and they're going to draw levels, right? And if anything, you could draw, let me see, you could draw a box like this and then try to extend it like this. And look, you dip into that box because this is where like first we kind of stopped these two candles here, and then you see like all these candles in this area. So I just drew a box there, and like look, we dip into that box, and yeah, those are probably buyers, right? Probably some buyers there. They're either buyers or you have sellers that anybody that sold last night, any of this, they're looking to take profits. Where are they going to take profits? Probably right there, right? It's probably going to be one of their main profit taking areas. Boxers or briefs? It's the question of the day. Compression. How about that? Gets you beat on that one. Took that IB breakdown short, and he asked for max profit in the 50K tops up eval, $1,500. That's beautiful. So look at this. So I showed this on NQ. That's the one that I took. Here's ES, same setup, right? The highs here, the lows here. We broke the low right here. So you look for that low to break. We hit previous day high and the gap fill pretty quickly. And then look, immediately, this yellow line, that's the gap fill line. That's where we closed yesterday. So if you look right here where we closed, see how this right here is right where this yellow line is. And look, this is a break and an immediate rejection of that. And then after we set that first hour, I mean, look at the price action here. So this is downward price action, right? And then look, tried to push back up and got stuffed. That's what this upper wick is. Tried to push back up, got stuffed again, and then you finally made the push down here. Looking at something over here on the side. I mean, 10 more minutes left on the stream. I mean, my day's pretty much over. Now what do I do next? Nothing, probably. That's the beauty of this. I mean, look, KB already left and went to work, whatever. I mean, my trading day can pretty much be done right now. Where's that 21? Oh, I got you. Let me get that link. All right, if you're on YouTube, there's a link. You should get 7 days free whenever you do the. If you do the checkout, you have to put in your payment, all that stuff. I'm telling you, I will die on the hill that you should give it a month. That way you can kind of actually get comfortable with it. 7 days. I mean, 7 day free trial is going to give you 5 days of market time. I just don't know that you can learn anything in 5 days and like get comfortable with it. I would say give it a month, but um, either way, when you sign up, first time sign up, you should get 7 day free trial, and then all of the indicators. So like almost all these indicators I've turned on, these are all Edgeful indicators, all included with it, right? So if you look on invite only, you get all of these. Look at all these Edgeful ones. These are all Edgeful indicators. You get all of those as a part of Edgeful. So it's all included. All the reports, all this stuff, the screener, everything. So there's no discount code. It's so the way Edgeful does things, instead of doing like the different tiers, like you can get the bronze and silver and gold tier or this or that or whatever. Well, the way they do it is they literally say one price all the way through for everything, right? One level, one price, you get everything. The algos is separate. The algo stuff is a separate deal altogether. But just Edgeful, all the reports that you need, all the indicators on TradingView, it's one price, one monthly price. There's no discount code. It is with my link. So my link that I put there in the YouTube chat, if you click that link and sign up, it's got to be the first time you sign up, can't be second time. You get a 7 day free trial before they start charging you. Okay. If you have any issues with that, you can reach out to them. You can send me a DM if you don't get through to them for whatever reason. Their customer service is good, but if you don't get through them, send me a DM. I have direct communication with them if needed. But essentially, you're going to get 7 days free. I say just give it a month. I think it's like $49 or whatever. To me, you're going to make that back. And I mean, most of you made that in one trade today, if not more, right? So, I mean, just think about how that can compound. Pays for itself, in my opinion. Yeah, absolute game changer. I call it a money printer. I mean, look at it. I took 2 trades this morning just based off Edgeful data. Absolutely just printed money. And then, yes, I mean, when you're trading, you're trying to get a direction right. And if you're able to eliminate one direction just because it's low probability, I mean, that to me is a game changer in itself. Big shout out to all you guys. Yeah, stream's winding down here. A couple more minutes. I gotta log off and get other things. I've got some spaces I gotta run today, and I'll still be watching for any trades. But my day's pretty much done. If we're just being 100% honest here, I would love to just hold some runners that continue to go lower. If anything, it's just so tough in my brain. It's so tough to tomorrow being FOMC, having been up this many days in a row. It's tough for me to want to try to buy a dip and take it back up here. Even though the higher probability is probably that happening. The other confluence that I have is most things are like this. We accepted into yesterday's upper range. We probably traversed down to here maybe on SPX. So this is just clear as day. Accepted into yesterday's highs. We've traversed yesterday's lows. If this right here fells, then we probably find our way back in here somewhere. If it fails. But I mean, what I'm seeing right now is just continued selling pressure so far. All these upper wicks. I mean, downtrend it's a strong enough trend we haven't even touched the 21 EMA yet. This is close to touching right there, but we haven't even touched the 21, just the 21 EMA on a 5-minute chart. And look, bounce here, got sold off immediately. Tried to push up here, got sold off. Rejecting. I mean, here is your 30-minute orb for those that use 30-minute orb. Here's your orb low, and look, try to get back in it, felled it, and it's just I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rejections now. Beautiful. Should get a new low of day here. That's where I'm at. But lose previous day's high, accept back under, go to previous day's low. I mean, some of those are basic trading concepts that a lot of you probably are familiar with. That's kind of where I'm at. I have some hedges on for the end of the week on SPY and QQQ. Not really doing a whole lot else this week, and I mentioned this on Spaces yesterday. This week with FOMC in the middle of the week, which is probably a pivotal maybe is the term I'm looking for. Possibly a big pivot from the Fed with rate cuts. That the magnitude of that, just possible binary event, could be nothing, right? But it could be something. And then this week, the futures contracts are rolling over. You have all of the monthly and quarterly options expiring on Friday. This week, I don't do a whole lot in general. When things out, binary events is the term, right? When things outside of the norm that don't happen every other day, when those things happen in the market, I'm a probability trader. I trade in normal market conditions. I know I can trade pretty well, at a pretty winning clip, based on normal market conditions. When things are outside of the normal, and price gets erratic, like Friday it'll be erratic. Thursday, I'm glad the stream's on Thursday, not tomorrow, because tomorrow I don't even want to trade. But Friday, you could get a lot of price just does like this all throughout the day. Even if it trends, it can be like boom, it can have ugly things like this. And I mean, it can look like this Friday, or it can, do this, and then it can do this, and then it can do this. Like Friday could be because you have big money closing out positions and putting them back on elsewhere, right? Just reshuffling the deck. All right, guys, that is my time for this morning. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Appreciate the whole chat, everyone hanging out with us this morning. Great stream, I'd say. Overall, I think a bunch of us caught some nice winners there as a unit. So I love seeing that. The trade setups were there. From the open, and then again that first hour of data, just so powerful. Make sure you guys are trying out Edgeful, but appreciate all of you that stopped by. Vladimir was in here early. KB was in here early. Willie's been hanging out. Chad, not Ch- Vlad, Cliff. Who else was in here? Kevin stopped by earlier. B plus, my man, stopped by on X. I saw Graham over in the UK was hanging out with us. Raj came in here from X. Melvin, buy it, trade it. I saw you guys. I saw you sneak in here for a little bit. Didn't say a whole lot, but I did see you sneak in here a little bit. So appreciate you. Faye asking some great questions. Matt came in with a nice question there as well. Appreciate everyone. Alexandra, last question here I'll hit before I close out the stream. What is my target for today's low? I think multiple things could happen. If we get down here to 480, which is kind of the lower end of this consolidation from yesterday, 480 to 470 is kind of my ultimate targets. It could go much further, but I don't care about that, right? I care about capturing the higher probability of where I think it's going to go. So highest probability was this piece. Next highest probability was this piece. Then lower probability would be here. And then to me, if something down here happens, I just won't be a part of it. I'm fine with that. I want to catch the bulk of the move, not the whole move. And I want to lock in profit along the way. So that's where I'm at. Kevin's still here. I see you. Chad was here. I knew it. I knew Chad was here. Chad's always in here lurking. Shout out to Chad. All right, guys. Appreciate all of you. This stream is, whatever, playbackable. It's recorded. So as soon as I close this out, it's on X, it's on YouTube, both Wolf Trading both Wolf Financial and Edgeful. Either one of those channels, you can go back and watch the stream again. I did some nice breakdowns. If you joined late, maybe I did. I set up the trades. I went over a bunch of the data from Edgeful, and then of course did a little recap there, basically as it was playing out right after it played out. So you can actually watch it back if you want. And yeah, that's it for me, guys. Appreciate everyone. Make sure you try out Edgeful. I'm telling you, it'll print money for you. It does for me more times than not. So appreciate all you guys. See you guys on Thursday. Next stream, Thursday morning. Same time, same place. I go live right at the open and go for about 2 hours. So